Morning. I didn't go in to the legs on the camper very well. Sorry, the sun's in my face, I can't see where I'm going. Sorry, because my head was stuck with the dog. So, look, this is what's happening. These plates are being welded to that tube. That tube will have the motor poking inside. There'll be a half cut with a pinch bolt to grip it. These will be welded together of that kind of affair and then bolted to the corners, and then there'll be another one possibly at the top to take the motor, so as when all the weight is thrown onto the foot that will eventually be in there, it won't push the motor out and collapse the entire body. This piece of steel, I think, if memory serves, or was it this piece of steel? No, it was this piece of steel. That piece of steel will go in there, and what I want to do is get some nylon and machine a piece of nylon. I was experimenting with slitting steel, but in the end we opted for just plainly doing that. So that will go on the end. Actually, no, that won't fit. Why did I slice that? There was a reason why that is in there, but I can't remember what, so because it was a while ago. So yeah, the thinner stuff will be going inside there, and if I can create some kind of mechanism, I mean, they come off. We need something at the end there, stop it from being sloppy. Got an Evolution blade this morning for my little handsaw, and we've cut 5 of these thin strips. Don't get me wrong, they're really banged up quite bad, to be honest, but once I've wire brushed that all back with that, etch primed over the top, I might even get away with spraying them, but I think, no, I won't. We'll just etch prime it. They're not the full length. I cut 5 in total, all the same size, and the reason for the 5 is one of them's going to get chopped to make up the ends. And I think, I'm not going to do it, but I reckon they might be thin enough to be able to bang them into a ridge so they could go over the top of the angle iron. Possibly. Might work. We might be able to get away with a cold chisel, heat it up a little bit, screw it on first, and then heat up with the gun, smack that bit down with a chisel over that edge, and then very gently bang that across. And then there's one way. I didn't put the camera on that, did I? Oh well, that's a bad idea anyway. Yeah, well, we've measured where those angles are going, so we'll wire brush them all back tomorrow. I ain't gonna do it today. Well, this is a travesty, that's the word I was looking for. Nobody wants my lorry in the sense of scrapyards without a serious amount of work ripping all the fiberglass and the wood out, which I don't mind, but I have spotted council wandering around photographing houses, which worries me. However, I did ring up a yard. I'll tell you the yard once it's gone. If he keeps to his word, then they should be here tomorrow, and they'll be towing this thing out, and hopefully that'll be the end of the damn thing. Just as well I didn't want that bumper anymore. She's a go, isn't it? A bit concerned about the rear wheels moving. The pressure must be up. much is out of it. I did say it was going to scrap, nobody wanted it, and it's now gone. Carnage. And there it is. Well, apart from that area, we've got to clear up. I think we've done a reasonably good job. It's not as messy as it was. Just got to get rid of that glass, trailer and go to scrap. I was thinking about cutting it up actually and making another one out of it, but we'll see. That's it, innit? It's gone. Gone. That tells me they're going to cut it up. And there was no value in the scrap. Scrap's gone down so much. There's actually now no value. I should have got rid of it when I first said I was before Christmas. I would have actually come out of this with a couple hundred in my pocket. But there you go. Told everybody that I rang up that it was council getting on my case, but the truth be known, they weren't. It was looking a bit of an eyesore though, with all the green mould. And I just thought to myself, the moment I go and clean that off, that's going to go on that piece of crap next door, and I want to get moaned at. So let's just get rid of it, strip it out. All the bits I take out can go into that one. So that's what I done. My neighbour that side made me laugh. God, I've never seen the garden like that before. When he moved in, you see, the lorry was in the front garden. I'd already spent 6 months on it. So it was already coming together slowly. What beat me? I'll tell you what beat me. Slide outs. That's what beat me. If we come down to the raw core of the problem, I couldn't get those slide outs to work. How much money do you waste before you actually give up the idea? Yeah, that's what beat me, slide outs. Lockdown number 1 didn't help, because I ended up having to cut corners and use scrappy wood, and then when lockdown came off, I then found that I could have gone to the DIY stores and stuff, could have done mail order and all that kind of shit. I could have done all of that, but I didn't think to check properly. So there you go. I didn't know the superstores are open. You know, like Wickes was open. I do believe B&Q had their doors partially open. I could have got all the materials. Yeah, as I say, the next mission, so we've got to clear all this here. So this trike has got to be cut up next. I've decided that's going. That's not going back on the road ever again. It's only to carefully dissect all the parts I want off it, which is like the luggage rack, saddlebags. I want the radiator off. I'm not leaving that on there. The water pump. Sorry, that was very expensive. Engine's got to come out, gearbox has got to come out, and the rest of it, well, we'll see what we end up doing with it, but the rest of the metal will come down the bottom here, and we'll get that to scrap as well. That's the next thing that needs doing, and when the value go up, I'll deal with that. And then we've got to put a window in that, change the carburetor. I've got a 2-barrel given to me the other day. Thank you, Matt, for that. So I've got to get an adapter plate for a 2-barrel. Get that running, get that out of the garden, and then I can bolt everything back on and put the new wheels on that I got. Damn, that'll look good with those wheels. And then I might very well put that up for sale. I'm not sure what I want to do with that at the moment. And genuinely, I would like to take that. Right, replace the locks today. difficult to do, to be honest. Kept falling apart on me. It went in that one, didn't it? Oh, for crying out loud, this stupid thing. Well, that was a fluke. Right, got rid of those damned hinges that weren't working out very well, and I put my own lorry ones in from that lorry, and they're much better, stiffer, but the door does what it's meant to, although the alignment's a bit off, but can't help that. I had enough trouble with this, so we've had to get some extra security for this because I don't want people breaking in. So there's going to be a handle up here, and there's going to be another handle about there, and there's going to be a deadlock and a deadlock, and with this lock as well. I think we've got enough to at least hinder somebody breaking in. I'm never going to stop them completely, but the other thing I'm planning to do is this space here. Once I've boarded this all up, there's going to be an entire C-shaped wall that can be dragged out, and I'm going to put a clasp and padlock clonk right there. So even if you get this door open, you've still got that to break into. All the hinges are greased. Done that today. So yeah, they haven't going to scrap my lorry for this lot to get nicked, so I had to go out and get some more. So I had to go out and get some proper locks. So we're going to put a cut in against that edge there, so as it sits on the inside. I've already switched the latch around on that one. I've already switched that one around. That will go on the inside, thus a hole will be drilled for that, and a hole for the lock. Nasty little plastic thing, but we can always replace that later. We're going to put one curved door handle on the inside, again nasty, but we're going to put one of these in on the outside. We'll grease that all up so it don't rust, and we're going to put two of them, but I might have to switch the handles around because as you can see, one's for left, one's for right, and I wasn't about to pay more money for another one unnecessarily. I think we might be able to get away with switching that over. Got a little grub screw there, look. So possibly, I don't know until I try. Right, this is the end. Almost. I have completely mucked it up the top. It's nice and close down there. Draft wise we should be okay, but up there, big problem, big problem. So we've got to resolve that somehow. So the hinges are on. I now know why it's a little on the stiff side. It's because when you open it, these corner pieces here are rubbing on the outer piece. So we just got the keyhole. Little do one-handed, by the way. There you go. So I've just got to trim the hinges up, but I really could do with moving that one a little further out, because it's a wee bit close up there. So we could do a pushing that one and that one. The frame is not in the best of condition anyway, and that's half my problem. The whole thing is a bit of a cluster F. So we just got the key ring covers to put on, and then I've got to figure a way, because I overcut that one, completely overcut it, and because the door sits a little further that way, it's not covering the whole of that hole. But the latches are going in. Tomorrow I might drill them holes out, shove that a little bit further across, and I might even go as far as doing what I did on the locks and fit a block of wood behind it, so it's got something solid to secure to on the top ones. That's nice and tight now. I'm sitting in the garden the way I want. The next process of this is to get all the sides sealed in as one. So a little bit of my paint is going to get destroyed, but no matter. We should build the legs, all four of them, and we'll jack this thing right up, and eventually we'll get it on the back of this. Now, I've got some MOT prep work to do now. This at some point has got to come off, so I've got to get some welding to do underneath, and I also need to purchase some steels for the frame. I want to strengthen that frame up in the middle. I don't think I need to do it, but I'm going to do it just to be on the safe side. I don't think this rear buck is going to be salvageable. I've got rot everywhere on it. I've got rot all under here, hole there, holes all the way down there. So what I've been debating about doing is buying, making up a steel frame to go around, cladding it in aluminium, like a checker plate base or something, and then putting some drop sides on it, either in the form of alley or wood, doesn't really matter, that can be pulled off all the way around. I still want a tailgate that can come down, because that relies on some kind of tailgate, so that may go back on, and we might work around the new bodywork. We've also got wheel arches to figure out. Everything's gone a bit over the top complicated, but what it does mean is when I put that on, I can put some lockers under there in that gap. Hopefully, bearing in mind I've still got a wheel arch issue to figure out, but we might be able to get some lockers in there to store some stuff. Might. It's worth a look. I think that's too far gone, specifically down there, and along the top here on the other side, which is why it's got foil on, because I didn't want it going any more rustier than what it is, but it hasn't really done me any favours, has it? Because look at that. So if you suddenly see this coming back on the road and it doesn't have its truckman top and it doesn't have that, you'll know why. What I may do is put that on a trailer instead. I've been thinking about it, and then I can tow that behind if I have to. But we do need to figure something out on this. But anyway, the locks are done. The video is now over. I'm going to shoot over to the computer in a minute, show you the x-rays that I've got on the dog. So for those of you that are still interested in the status of the dog, stay tuned. If not, this is the end for you. And for all of you that are going to log off, I just want to say thank you very much for your views and your shares, and we'll see you on the next one soon. For those of you that are hanging around for the x-ray visions that I've got, for those of you hanging around for the x-rays, just hang to, there's more to come. Before I go upstairs, I'm not happy with these, they look crap. I'm going to order some garage door latches instead, which are going to go up there tomorrow. That way I get another lock, because they've got keys for those. So we've got two locks, one lock. That means I'll be in there at night, safe as houses. The only thing I need to do is to elongate these holes on the door. I need to push the door over because of that gap up there. That one's hidden, that one isn't, and you can see it isn't quite where it needs to be. So I need to shove that over just a tiny bit more. I mean, the gap that side is the same, but the frame is all over the place. I think the frame goes like that a little bit. It does actually, you can see it, look. It's really bad. Okay, where do we start? These are the x-rays that I had taken at the vet. As you can see here, that one's a little further in, but they reckon it needs to go further than what it actually is. This is the one that played him up, and they reckon where my arrow is here, they reckon that there should be a little bit more over the edge there. I don't actually know 100%. No, sorry, I got it wrong. Start again. Go away. Okay, right, what is missing? This is one of the photos that they show me, and what is missing is on this side, we have it here. I mean, it's still not fully where it needs to be, but this is the good leg, and that area there, I don't know if you can see that, that has grown around, so that the joint is being held in. However, on this side, it has not. And there is the risk, this is the one that hasn't developed properly, and there is a risk that that could dislocate. So on that basis, it's been recommended that the dog gets 2 new hips. I'm a little confused to why I need a new hip on this side, but I understand why I need it on this side. Now we're trying something new, which I'll get back to you at a later date. Right here, is this the one? No, I don't think that is. I think that was the picture she showed me. Yeah. She said it's uneven. This is the front joint, and she said there's gaps, especially there. Look, gaps. So that being the front joint, she said that will need some arthritic work. Spine is fine. That joint is not so fine, but you can't really see a great deal there. We'll skip that one as not relevant. What we've got here, we just looked at that one. That's the one I enhanced. That wasn't much use to the vet. He wasn't interested in that because it wasn't visible. This is the other front leg. Ah, that was the one. There you go. Now we can see it better. there is a gap all the way along there, and it's uneven. Apparently that needs to be more even than what it is, and that is causing, or she says, that is what has been causing the dog pain. However, what I have done and what I am doing is we've put the dog on a massive diet. We were told by the second vet that we went and saw, completely independent from the first one, that we need to give him frequent walks. He's getting those, short but frequent, 20 minutes at the most, no longer, and as many during the day as we can possibly do. Well, he gets a lot of exercise in that garden, has to be said. We need to keep his weight down, so we're giving him 1 tin of dog food a day plus minced turkey, so that is the equivalent to a large bowl of food a day, and a pill, and I can't pronounce this properly, forgive me, it's a pill called Yamove, something like that, which is designed to help the development of bones, joints, ease off joints. You can get it for older dogs, younger dogs. We've got the stuff for the younger dogs. Very expensive. 2 weeks worth was 30 quid, and we're going to keep him on that for a very, very long time, if not for life, to try and help him through. He is off painkillers now, and he is running around like you wouldn't believe. The simple answer is the first vet that insisted that he has the operation said that in less than 2 weeks, 2 months, sorry, I get it right, in less than 2 months we will be looking at getting an operation for him. The other guy that we spoke to gave me no indication that he needs to have that operation within a few months from now at least. He said if you do that you can keep him going for quite a while, but he never saw the front legs in the x-rays because I couldn't pull them up, so he does not know what's needed. Basically, a long story cut short, we are going to keep him going as long as we can on the regime that we've got him on at the moment. He is a happy dog, he's not suffering, but at some point he is going to need 2 new hips, and he is going to need an operation on the front. Now the first vet said he needs the hips now because that will release the pressure off the front legs. My worry is if the hips, for argument's sake, we get them done and he only gets 5 years of life and we've got to do it again. My attitude towards this at the moment is he's showing no signs of pain, so we'll keep him going as long as we can. We might even make 5 years. I am very doubtful about it, but we might make 5 years, and then we can look at the operation, and if we can get another 5, then we've got his full life cycle of 10 years, which is what an Alsatian is expected to live. Although, as I said to you before, DVLA are making it really, really difficult now with the car industry. I mean, that rat rod in the garden probably won't even end up on the road by me at the rate we're going with the DVLA. That's going to end up with Q-plate anyway, we know that. If I, doing it legitimately, even with the point scoring, I will probably still end up with a Q-plate because of the bodywork that's gone on it. According to the new DVLA laws, if you even put a patch on a weld hole, that now comes under, not original part, that on its own could get you, if I've read this right, a Q-plate. But don't quote me on this. You know what rumours are like. You hear this all over the place and some people change from one to the other. But the fact is it's getting harder for me anyway. Finances are shot to shit. That's why the lorry went, because I just didn't have the money to finish it. I also lost a lot of incentive in it, and it was stressing me out big time. Even though I let it go for nothing, I ain't no lie about it. The guy picked it up, I don't know what he's planning to do with it, but it went for nothing. That's a lot of money going down the tubes. I'm really pissed off about it, but there's nothing I can do about it now. That's one thing I haven't got to stress about. The next thing is to cut the tri-cut. Then we'll have a load of scrap metal to take down to the tip. We can get that all tidied up, and I need to do that because the dog seems to be dancing around that car a lot in the garden, and I'm a bit worried he's going to hurt himself, so we need to clear all of that next. And then after that, the camper van box will be a little bit further ahead. We'll then load that on the back of the pickup truck and move that onto the gravel on the other side, and then we can get the rat rod out of the back garden into the front. The plan is to put a windscreen in it, get the engine running, and then we'll assess to whether we're going to keep it or sell it after that. I don't know at the moment. That's another insurance policy. I haven't got the money for it, to be honest. I don't, and I can't afford to drive it as a daily drive. Now, if I could find a 300 turbo diesel, which I actually did have and sold, which helped pay for the lorry, which I now don't have because I gave it away. So, you know, a lot of stuff went down the tubes when that lorry came, and everything's gone down the tubes now. Anyway, if I could find a decent 300 turbo diesel and a bell housing to fit, or a 200 turbo diesel, which I have a bell housing to fit, then I'd probably take the V8 out and put that in, and I would use that as regular as clockwork. It'd be a nice car to jump into as a fallback for myself and my dog. But, you know, at the moment, it's just a scrappy old heap of poop sitting in the back garden at the moment, which needs to be at the front. Once I've done that, I've then got to address the shed, because the shed's falling down again. We had somebody climbing around on the roof over winter, and they have, from what I can work out, been putting very, very small holes in the felt. I'm not making this up. We've had a lot of problems with a certain character. I don't know who's doing it. I know who's doing it. I can't prove it. He's been letting my tyres down on my Citroen. They've been on my shed roof. They've been putting small pinprick holes everywhere on my shed roof. That's just some of what's been going on, and I can't prove it. That's the problem. I cannot prove it. There's been other things as well, but I can't bloody remember what. There is more. I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. I think there was dog shit on one of the roofs of my cars a few years ago as well, and I think that was connected. Yeah, I can't remember. But we don't get on. We don't see eye to eye. But I'm doing my best to keep the peace. But it's just difficult. It's difficult. I've been here 20-something years. I was here before they were. Anyway, it is what it is, isn't it? As soon as I catch them on camera, that's it. I'm going straight to the police and I'm having him prosecuted, because I've just about had enough of him. Little whippersnapper. Anyway, so fundraising for the dog. I could just do a GoFundMe page and just leave it, but I'm one of these people, and my mother who bought the dog for me, she said, Sean, you just need to get this page out. I said, I know I do, but I can't just put it out there and not give something back, for crying out loud. And that's not just about my dog, because I'm going to be putting everything else down. I'll be doing little things, but I'm not going to be doing the big projects anymore. But I'll be putting all this lot down, concentrating during the summer months on the GoFund page. I says, and I don't just want to do it for my dog, but I would like to do it for other dogs. The prices of vet bills are astronomical. They are astronomical. And my attitude on this is that the more people we can help with this funding page, the better, because we might be able to get more dogs help that are very much needed. I mean, there was a lady that was behind me at the RSPCA. She couldn't afford to take her dog with giving it some dignity and taking it to a vet properly, where it could then be, it had to be put down because it had a massive tumour. It was only a little terrier, massive tumour in its belly, and they took it to the RSPCA because they didn't have any other money, so they couldn't afford a vet bill. If I had the money, I would have put that in their hands. I would have said, let me take you to the vet, and it would have been done with dignity and respect, but it would have been nice for them to be able to have the opportunity to take it to a regular vet, where they could have had it done on its own, and they could have had the option of having the ashes back, or they could have left it there, and then they would have known the process. But when you take it to a charity, it's there is the dog, they put it down. Now you've got two choices. You can take the dog home and bury it in the back garden, or you can leave it with them and then they will dispose of the body. But that's just one example of the extra help that could be given. It makes me hot and mad. I haven't got a price yet on the actual operation. All I know was last time we looked into it was £7,000 a hip. There's two back hips that need sorting out according to this vet lady, and I want to get a third opinion on that. And then there's some work on the front leg. So I'm probably looking at having to find the best part of £17,000 to fix my dog. That's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it? How do they get off with this? I don't know. So I'm going to start a GoFundMe page. I feel guilty as hell doing it, because some of you are probably thinking, because my own mum put this one to me as well. She said, but Sean, you're going to be carrying on doing stuff? I said, yep. Well, how do you expect people to put money in the pot if you're not? I said, I am putting money in the pot though, ain't I? She said, well, how? I said, I'm keeping him fed. on pills, and I'm keeping him going on the additives that go in his food to help his bone growth. I'm doing all of that. It's getting the walks. I'm doing my fair share, I said. But I see her point. I need to keep the GoFundMe page out there for people to see, not just for my dog, but after I've got mine done, for other dogs as well. So I've got to spend money on things like the sponsorship idea that I've got going on. So I'm going to do a separate YouTube page, and it's all about my dog and other dogs. I'll feature other dogs in it if I can get in with some charities, so I can go in the kennels and film some of the dogs that need rehoming. But primarily what I'm doing is I'm going to be rowing as many local rivers around the country as I possibly can. I need money to do that, so I'm using my own money to do that. I'm not asking for anybody's help on this one, just me. So I've got to get my hands on a cheap canoe. I've already seen a couple for sale, 10 quid, 20 quid, that's all I need. I've got fiberglass materials, I've got everything I need to turn it into a seagoing canoe. So I'm literally going to cut it right down the middle, widen it, split the top off, put a new floor in. I'm going to put a bigger hole in it around the top, because I'm a bit of a fat bugger. I did say bugger the first time. Anyway, so it's going to have a new hole, and then I'm going to seal the back off, seal the front off. I'm going to fill foam in the front. I'm going to put some foam in the back as well, maybe glass over the top of that foam. There's going to be a trolling motor, which I'm now in the process of buying. I've just found a trolling motor, electric trolling motor for £50, brand new, hardly used, according to the guy. So that's going to go on the canoe as well. So when I hit like the River Orwell, for example, which is a tidal river, canoeing, me with arthritis on my shoulder, overweight, knackered knees, I'm not going to be able to do it. That currents are going to be strong. I don't have any upper body strength left. I was really fit when I was younger. 15 years ago I'd have done this without batting an eyelid, but I'm 55 years old now, and I'm getting on a bit. In some eyes I'm still young, but in my eyes I feel old. My knees are absolutely shot, so you'll see a beach whale trying to get out of this thing, and I'll be rolling around on the grass. I'll probably fall in multiple times. I've got to try and find a cheap drone from somewhere, like 10-15 quid drone, just so as I can take shots. And the plan is to do trips down the rivers, put them up on YouTube. They're not purchased. There's not going to be Patreon or anything like that. I'm going to link the links to the GoFundMe page, and then you'll see me doing the rowing. My thank you to you: 1, sharing the word; 2, putting money in the pot is the videos. I'll be doing all that, and I take requests. If somebody who is willing to put a large amount of money in, but they have a challenge for me to do, if I feel that I am capable of doing it, then if it's a good amount of money and it's not one that's going to terrify me, and I think you lot are going to deliberately terrify me, I honestly do feel that. So I'm not going to tell you what my phobias are. I'm just not going to tell you. That way I don't walk into a hole of, well, I'll give you £2 if you, yeah, nope. But the option's there. So that's what I should be doing. We need to get that money. I need to get that money up. I need to get him when he needs the operation, and I'm not doing any of this until the time he needs it. Then great, I can get the amount ready. I'll put that aside, and then we'll carry on, and then we'll build that pot up again, and then I'll get in touch with the PDSA, the RSPCA, the Blue Cross, and any other kennels around Suffolk and other areas. If there's dog owners that financially need help with certain things, as long as it's within a decent budget, I can help, because your money, your care, your caring will. I felt so bad for that lady that had to put her dog down. She was only a youngster, she was only in her 30s, she had her dad with her, and I just felt so sorry for her. I really did. She obviously loved that dog a lot. I don't know if that tumour could have been operated on. I suspect it could have done. Would the dog have survived? It did look old. I don't know. Had the money have been there, maybe we would have found out. Some of you say, well, there is a thing called insurance policies, but here's the thing, right? If we didn't have those insurance policies, the vets would be forced to bring the prices down because they'd have no business. But because there's insurance policies in place, they can then jack their prices up because they know the insurance companies are going to pay the bill. Therefore, you've then got to buy the insurance policy. And the last time I tried to insure an Alsatian that already had an ear infection issue, they wouldn't cover the ear infection, obviously. They wouldn't cover the back legs because it was prone, those Alsatians are prone to that. So there would have been no help for me anyway on that one. So, no. There is no insurance policy, unfortunately, for me to turn to, and for a lot of people, insurance policies are out of reach. If you want the full health pack, it's over £50 a month. And you still don't get a full health pack. There are some things they will not cover, like legs. It's mad. If there was no insurance, the vets would be forced to bring the prices down. Because everyone buys insurance, the vets feel that they've got the freedom to whack the prices as high as they can because they know they're going to get paid. How many vets do you know that are poor? I'm not criticising, I am criticising them, but look, at the end of the day, we need vets, we need them. There's no ifs or buts about it. And as a vet politely put it, when I said to her about the pills, I can get these pills online for $3.99 delivery, £5 for the amount you're offering me. If I had a prescription, I could order those. But you need them now. Thank you, Mr. Collins. 30 quid later. I rest my case. Anyway, I've ranted on enough. You've seen what's going on. You know what I'm up to. Wish me luck. I'll open a new channel up soon. As soon as I get the GoFundMe page started, which I haven't done yet, I'll get that started. But I'm just waiting to hear from this vet because I need a final price of what needs to be done. What I really should do is take these to another vet, and I'm just trying to find one that I trust. And then I'll get somebody who's into radiology to look over these and say, yeah, that one might not need it, but that one definitely does need it, and yeah, the front leg's okay. And then I'll know exactly, because I do feel that this particular vet that did all these x-rays gets a massive kickback from the company that she's sending the dog to, because they're not doing it in their surgery, they're not equipped, they're sending it to a specialist. So I'm wondering if they get a kickback of a couple of £1,000, maybe we can get that price down a little bit. Maybe we only need one leg at the back done, possibly don't need the other one, maybe, I don't know. See, I don't know. I've only had one opinion on the x-rays. I've had two opinions on how to keep the dog going. I could do with a third one. Anyway, thank you for viewing, and if you made it this far, I very much appreciate your time and your efforts. And I'll see you next when we start doing the sealing up of the camper, and I might even turn my attentions outside and get that trike cut up, and then I'm just waiting for the scrap price to go up because at the moment it's really low. That's why I've got nothing for the lorry. If the price was high, I'd have been paid a little bit for the lorry to be towed away, but the price was just down, gone. So yeah, that is the next thing to do. Chop the trike up. We're never ever going to ride it again. I'm not selling it as it is anyway. I tried a little while back, nobody was interested, so I'll scrap the logbook. It'll get chopped up, and then some of the parts like the radiator, the engine and gearbox, the rear axle, that will get stored. I'll keep the radiator because that come in handy for summer. I paid too much money for that anyway, and just give it away. And the rest of it will just be binned. The forks are going in the bin, and no use to anybody really. What else is on it? All the electrics. Well, the ECU I'll keep, but that's the wrong ECU for that engine, and if anyone's interested in the engine, it's a single Vanos 2.5, but cylinder number 1 does fill up with oil once it warms up, and that could be a multitude of problems, which I don't know, none of which I'm aware of, so I haven't pulled it apart to find out. Could be the rings are shot, it could be the header's cracked, could even be the block's cracked. I don't know. All I know is once it warms up, there is oil in the intake, and it's come from cylinder number 1. But those engines are getting rare now. They're getting hard to find, especially excuse me, especially the 2.5s. They've got stronger. They've got stronger connecting rods than they've got stronger connecting rods than the 2.8s have. They are a better engine, definitely. Anyway, with that, I'll see you soon. You stop it. Huh? immature and mischievous little so-and-so.